Welcome to our PM series session where we educate managers and upcoming product managers on various skill sets and things that they need to know in order to deliver effectively as product managers. Today we have here with us Cyril Aware. I'll leave it to him to do his own introduction so that I don't limit his, so kindly introduce yourself.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much. Thank you, Frank, for the opportunity to speak on this interesting topic about customer centricity and design thinking. So my name is Cyril Awere. I'm an agile coach, a transformation leader, and I'm a consultant trainer. And I have also started a new podcast very recently called Belief Africa. So maybe if we have time, we'll talk about that a bit later on. So what do I do? So I find passion in bringing positive change into organizations. This is really what I like to do, helping leaders and teams to bring their best self to work and go on to help their organizations to deliver positive outcomes. So in summary, that's really what my role is about. I am also a conference speaker, so I have traveled internationally to deliver some, to help deliver some conferences on the topic of agile, business agility. So that's me in summary.
Wow. Wow, interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So since we are here to talk about customer centricity and design thinking,
Yes.
my first question would be, when we say customer centricity, what do you understand by customer centricity?
Well, so customer centricity is really a mindset, Frank. It's a mindset that is helping organizations to recognize the importance of the customer. You know, the fact that the customer is the most important entity, and making sure that they're having a positive experience with their product or their service. So that's really what customer centricity is all about. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So why is customer important for businesses today, looking at this digital age?
Yeah, absolutely that, Frank. So we live in this digital era, exponential change all around us happening. And of course, one of the key changes that is, happening continuously is customers' tastes, right? Customers' needs. That is changing constantly. And as an organization, it's important that we are keeping abreast with these changes and bringing that into the product or the service that we're delivering or offering. And that's why customer centricity is so important. Otherwise, we become irrelevant, right, in this new age. Yeah.
Okay. Then what are some of the key elements or principles of a customer-centric approach that you think businesses can use?
Yeah. So the key characteristics, if you like, of principles is, of course, the focus being on the customer. So this is the kind of the first part. The second part is really understanding our customers' needs, or even better, our customers' pain points. You know, the more painful the concern is, the better actually, because then it becomes really, really valuable, whatever product or service we're offering. And also thinking and feeling like our customer. This is so important. So we want to put ourselves in the shoes of our customer so that we can bring that feeling and thinking into the products that we're or service that we're offering. And then we have this concept about whole product solutions, which is taking a broader view of product delivery, a holistic view even, making sure that we are tying everything together that the customer is going to need as part of a product. Uh, and then the final part is lifetime value. So we are with customer centricity, we're not just interested in selling the product to our customer, right? And then just kind of leaving it there. But with business agility, we are also concerned with the use of the product or the service, and that until the end of the lifespan of the product. So we are also concerned with understanding how the customer is experiencing the use of the product over time. And that is not only beneficial for our customer to ensure that they're getting the best value from it, but it's also good for us as a business to make sure that we're bringing any new learnings from that into our future product offerings. Yeah, so those are the key elements there of customer centricity. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. In
Yeah.
your earlier submission, you made mention that you support or promote African businesses.
Ooh.
In your experience, what are some of the, can you give us a list of companies that excel at customer centricity, and what do you think
Mhm.
businesses in Africa can um, um, do in order to improve their customer centricity approach?
That's a very, very good question. But you know what I'm going to do, Frank, with this question? Before I give an answer to this question, I think it would be great for us to invite our listeners. Maybe for our listeners, maybe you can type in the chat what, which organization do you think you have experienced really great service, or you're really, really happy with their product. So it'd be good to get your perspective on this as well before I make mention of mine. So yeah, or which company do you think has the best experience that you've ever, encountered, or even if it's a product? Any of you have any thoughts on that? Okay. So UM has taken the one that I was going to talk on. UM has gone for Amazon. This is a very typical one, right? Amazon has a renowned reputation for being very, very customer centric. It's actually one of their goals. Um, so yeah, I think Owen is very much aligned with what I was thinking about. So Amazon have this policy of having an empty chair during most meetings, and this empty chair has got the word customer labeled on it, right? And the thinking here is that when teams are having conversations, etc., they are mindful of what the customer's perspective is, right? Um, so that's an example there of how serious Amazon takes its customer. And I'm an Amazon customer myself, so I can definitely attest to that. It's not like it's kind of well been spoken widely, but I personally have experienced very good positive service from Amazon. Um, and in fact, I do get frustrated when others are not delivering similar sort of standard of service. So yeah, I think Amazon's a good example to go with. Unless any of you have any other examples that you want to share with us, maybe you have some other companies that uh, come to mind.
Okay, interesting. Um,
Okay.
Another question is now there are a lot of startups springing up in Africa. They're all trying to solve
Yeah.
problems. How
Mm.
important do you think customer centricity is for startups, especially tech startups that are trying to solve African problems?
Yeah, this is definitely a very good question too. Um, it's so the reason why it's so important is that we don't want to deliver a product or a service that is eventually going to be irrelevant for our customer, right? This is not very good use of any organization's resources, especially in Africa. We want to make the best use, especially of financial resources. So the key benefit here is that we could end up saving ourselves a lot of money if we do apply or implement the customer centricity elements into our product delivery. And a very good example of that is this term called MVP. It's minimum viable product. And for startups, this is a very, very good approach, right? We focus on the minimum build for the product or service, and then over time we engage customers to participate in surveys, providing feedback on how the experience is going for them, so that we can bring the insights back into the product, right, and continuously improve on the product. So we, in the previous product sort of ways of delivering products, we would get all the requirements in advance, and then we will embark on delivering the project. By the time we finish the project, the product is actually out of date, right? Um, yeah, so certainly, absolutely that, Frank. For startups, it's even more important to adopt the MVP approach. Save a lot of money. Yeah.
Wow, wow. That's very informative for some of us who want to venture into that sector. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So when we say design thinking, what is design thinking?
Mm. Yeah, so design thinking is really making sure that we understand our customer's problem. It's kind of twofold, really. The first part is making sure that we understand our customer's problem. Um, And then with that, we're in a position to actually design a product that would be relevant, right? That will be solving the problem. So those are two key elements there. What problem are we trying to solve? And then we are designing a product that actually solves that problem. So at a very high level, that's really what design thinking is about. But it's kind of it comes after customer centricity. Yeah. But yeah. But yes, just focusing on customer design, those are the two key elements there. We very often don't understand the problem with product design. So organizations might come up with their own sort of ideas, right, on what they think is the best products for our customer, without consulting our customer to understand what they think the problem is. And that's where sometimes we fail to deliver the right product. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So how does design thinking customer centricity? How they work together?
So yeah, the link between customer centricity and design thinking. Basically, design thinking comes after customer centricity. So with customer centricity, we are getting to understand um, our customer in terms of their needs. We do this through different methods, research mainly, um, market research, and user research. Market research tends to focus on the product strategy, so it's looking at the broader perspective. What is the opportunity for this product if we were to bring it to the market? And understanding our customers' profile, and seeing what the feasibility is. And then the user research is focusing on the individual, our segment, user segment, and kind of going a bit deeper into what our users' needs are. So who is the customer? Who is our customer profile, for instance? So we use things like personas to understand the exact segment that we want to focus on. And then we're deciding on how we're going to deliver it, how we're going to develop this product. So those are the kind of research methods that are used as part of customer centricity. And it's that data that we use to determine what our product design wants to look like.
Wow, wow, interesting. Okay,
Mm.
so what are some of the tools that one could use in the process of design thinking?
Yeah, so I made mention of personas. So personas basically are capturing information about our customer, typical customer. It's like a profile, right? Capturing different aspects of our customer, their age, male, female, where they live, their marital status, all the different things that they like to do, or things that they don't like to do, things that annoy them even. So we're using the persona information is really useful as well as part of researching into who our customer is. And then there is also another approach which is called customer journeys, customer journey mapping. And with this, we would capture the steps that our customer is using, every single step that our customer is using to either purchase the product or utilize the service. And each of those steps, we would be capturing what their current thinking is, how they are feeling, their experience. And that is also quite important to us. And this is again where Amazon does very, very well. They actually monitor our every single move when we're on the Amazon website. It's quite incredible. They probably know more about us than we know of ourselves, right? In terms of our buying habits. So yeah, customer journey mapping is a very, very good way to really understand our customers' experience, and then using that to come up with ways to improve on that experience. So those are typical examples there of different approaches for customer centricity.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So as an experienced professional, um,
Mm.
give us a case study or an example where you fused products, design thinking, and then customer centricity in order to deliver a product.
Yeah, so the very latest major engagement that I had was with Jaguar Land Rover. So Jaguar Land Rover are have been working on a program to transform the whole organization to become more agile and ultimately to manufacture electric vehicles. So of course, this is a very, very new area for them. And so this needed quite a number of changes across the whole organization. And they recognized that they would need to um, help teams to become more customer centric. And one of the ways that this was done was to help the product management teams to work more closely with the marketing teams. Yeah. The marketing teams had, of course, all the data on customers' feedback, etc. And what this helped to, because before there was not that close a relationship between the product management team and the marketing teams. But that collaboration helped a great deal because the feedback coming from the customers, which is all captured in data sat within the marketing teams, was now being shared with the product management team. So those insights were helping the product management community to adapt the products accordingly, right? In terms of product design, manufacturing, etc. I can't go into the details because I've signed an NDA, so I can't reveal too much. But yeah, it's that collaboration between those two different departments helped a great deal to ensure that they are bringing those insights into the product manufacturing kind of bit. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Wow. Very insightful.
Mm.
Uh, so, what advice would you give a business that wants to start using design thinking approach and customer centricity to refine their processes or deliver their products? What's some of the advice you give to such businesses, especially in our set in Africa?
Yeah, I think I guess if we look at that probably translates to the common challenges that a lot of businesses face today, Frank, right? A lot of businesses are kind of caught up in the product centric or profit centric kind of mindset, right? Because we are so focused on delivering our positive financial results. So we sort of, in the process, tend to take our eye off the customer needs or even looking at problem solving iteratively. So that's one of the challenges there, shifting from that profit centric mindset to a more customer needs perspective. And that needs leadership intervention, right? Leadership buy-in, leadership actually driving across the whole organization the importance of all teams embracing a customer-centric mindset. So that's one example. Another challenge often is to do with process. Um, I'm sure most of us are so familiar with being told that, well, this is how we do things around here. It's always been like this. Yeah. So especially with large environments, they have some existing processes and they have challenges actually that they're finding it difficult to move away from these rigid processes and embracing a sort of an open mind, growth mindset even to try out new processes, which is allowing for customer data to be used to to be incorporated into our designs, our product delivery. So that's one area. So encouraging teams to work together, this is one of the challenges we have, silos, especially within large organizations. I think for small organizations, startups, it's not so much because by nature they are working organically together. But for large organizations, this can be a challenge where, you have departments working in silos. And that cross-departmental collaboration is very, very critical. The example that I gave is product management working with marketing, for instance, right? Um, yeah. So leadership want to find ways of fostering this cross-departmental collaboration so that and even rewarding, having initiatives with rewards where different departments have come together, and as a result, they've been able to come up with a really great positive change for the organization. So all of that can really help. And then one area as well is KPIs, right? So as an organization, do we have KPIs that are tied to our customer satisfaction, for instance, or customer experience, right? It's all very well having KPIs around finance. Are we delivering targets, in terms of profit, etc. But we, of course, we want to make sure that we are also, paying some attention to the data around our customer satisfaction, feedback, etc. I think most environments use this net promoter score as a way of measuring that, right? So again, are we using that as one of our KPIs? And if we're not, perhaps it'd be a good thing to introduce that. And that way, all teams are conscious about making sure that we're delivering to these targets. Yeah, and then I guess another challenge as well is just general empathy for the customer, making sure that our teams are customer focused. They're not just delivering this product, but they are thinking about the customer and how they're going to use this product. So yeah, helping our teams to be more yeah, customer centric is equally important. And that again could be some initiatives around, which teams have come up with the best product adaptation based on new feedback from our marketing teams, and demonstrating how successful that's been. So those are some examples of the typical challenges that businesses face and the solutions that could be adopted to address them.
Okay. Wow. I'm
Yeah.
learning a lot here. If you have any questions, kindly drop them in the chat and Cyril will attend to them.
Yes, please do. Yeah. If you have
Yeah.
any questions, please don't feel free to interrupt.
Yeah. So Cyril, um, AI is now a buzzword, right? And we are talking about
Mm,
customer centricity and design thinking. How do we
yeah.
utilize AI tools to facilitate this process?
Yeah, that's a very, very key question too. That's definitely the future, right? AI is with us now, whether we like it or not. Um, AI is really fundamentally data, isn't it? It's kind of data driven. Without data, it becomes very, very difficult for us to leverage the benefits from AI. Hence why we have machine learning. So machine learning is all using data, right, to learn more and more and more. So this is speaking to the importance of organizations being data centric. So, and I guess I think you were speaking to Africa there. This is a huge opportunity across a large number of organizations. I'm not sure if we're collecting sufficient data in a lot of African organizations, but for AI to really work for us, we should be looking at how can we collect the most important data around our customers in terms of getting feedback, their experience with using our product service. And what we can expect into the future, Frank, is that AI is going to be predictive, right? Maybe better than us, using all this data to be able to say that, okay, your customer is going to need this product in 2035. Okay, something along those lines, but certainly be able to predict into the future using all the right sets of information in a way that makes it all credible. So yeah, AI is going to be very, very relevant. And of course, we see this today. A lot of the large organizations have really embraced it because they know how important it is. And of course, as an organization, if we fail to embrace it, we will find ourselves out of the market, which I wish not for a lot of our African organizations. So, yeah, I think we have to find ways to encourage decision makers to recognize the importance of AI and data collection. Yeah,
Oh, thank you, Cyril. Thank you
yeah.
for very um, insightful session with us. Any
Yes.
final takeaways for the listeners?
I think all of us have to think about the customer constantly, whatever it is that we're doing. So in an organization, sometimes I guess we could put it into two categories. Some of us are facing the customer directly. Maybe we're at the the cashier's desk or the till or whatever, right? And then some of us are in the back office. So maybe we're in finance, we're doing all the accounts, etc., right? Um, it's useful to for every single person to think about what is the impact on our customer with the work that I'm doing. So it doesn't have to be directly working with a customer, but we're consciously asking ourselves that question. Everything that we do, how is this going to impact our customer? And I think that's a good place to start, really, for us to just be thinking more about the work that we're doing and how it's going to ultimately impact our customer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I think someone dropped a question here. Says,
Yeah.
what are the most effective ways to get the constant constant feedback from the customer in order to remain customer centric?
Yeah, so it depends on the area. So I give an example. I did some work with Costco. So Costco is one of the largest retailers, right? Supermarket. And when I joined Costco, one of the first things that I did was to visit a number of stores and spend some time at the store because I felt that this is really, really important to understand how a store operates. Um, this is from an IT perspective, so I was leading on some IT, some global IT programs, and I felt that I needed to be on the ground to really understand how the teams are using technology to carry out their functions. And this was really, really useful um, to understand, to speak with them. I think we call this Gemba. For some of you are probably familiar with this term Gemba, which means actually, being in the presence of our customer and sort of feeling whatever it is that they're experiencing, and doing that continuously over time, frequently enough, right? So we don't want to have too long a gap between collecting this data. It wants to be as frequent as possible so that we can really understand the trends, and then be able to use, the data becomes more credible this way. So definitely I recommend having a kind of regimental, periodical way of collecting data, making sure that it's as frequent as possible. And that's how the data becomes kind of rich and more relevant. Yeah,
Okay.
hopefully
Wow.
that helps.
Wow. There are more questions coming in, but
There's more questions coming in. Yes.
it's the time is fast spent. So Cyril, how can people
Yes.
get in touch with you? And you made mention that you now run a podcast series. How can people get access to your podcast, and how can they get?
Yes. Yeah, sure. So I will put the name of the podcast here in the chat, actually. So that would be useful. Um, it's kind of not speaking directly to customer centricity, but it is to a large degree. This podcast is helping young Africans to believe in themselves, and embrace a growth mindset, strong character, positive mind, attitude. Because our belief is that every single African deserves to be successful. Okay. So yeah, please do check it out. You can definitely reach me through that. I'm gonna put the website in the chat as well. There we go. That's the website there. And we can definitely maybe continue this kind of conversation in that forum as well. Yeah. I think one of you, I'll just attend to the last question there very quickly. What kind of data were you collecting? So this is really around understanding the concerns of those that are using the IT system. So, you know, what aspects of the system is helping you with your work, and which aspects of the system is just frustrating you, that's making you not be great at what you do. And that's the kind of data that we were collecting, which is quite important because we want to make sure that IT is meant to be there to help improve things, not just to be followed. Um, yeah, so hopefully that answers that question, making sure that it's relevant.
Okay. Thank you,
Good.
Cyril, for
Yeah.
joining us today. Um,
Thank
hope
you
we
for
have
having you all. Thank
God
you,
bless.
UM.
Yeah. Then we'll listen to your podcast and learn more from you. Um,
Yes,
thank
please
you.
do, and let me know what you think. And I wish you all the very best as well for all of you
All right.
on this, yeah, on this
Okay.
meeting.
So, okay. Thank you. Guys, if you can see my screen, this week was um, design thinking and then customer centricity. Next week, we are having Hope Avalon Gagodo, who is coming to talk about dark launches and feature targets. If you're a product manager, um, before you release a product, you need to know what dark launches are and what feature toggles are. This helps you to deliver features to customers um, in iteration so that you get to see um, the benefits of that particular feature to your customers. Aside that, we also have some courses that we are running. We are running digital products management course, which is starting on the 10th of June. We also have agile software development bootcamp going on. So if you want to become a software developer, you can visit our website. It has been dropped in the chat. You can visit the website to learn more about us. Thank you,
Super.
everyone, for joining us. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye bye, everyone. All the very best. Great having you.